Guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to review QQQ, SPY, SMH, the Mag 7. We're going to go over multiple stocks. Let's get through the list right now. So here we go. So looking at Qs, we are trading at the top right now. Qs is at $630 per share. This is using a 5-year chart. You can see that we are trading at the top of this channel. Looking at the 5-year chart here, we just have to be aware that overall, we are floating into the abyss up to the moon right now. So bullishness is on our side. Pullbacks should be bought as long as you use a little bit of due diligence. We'll go over that with Meta stock a little bit later. Q's looking good. Pullbacks to 615 would look nice, or 600 flat. Let's go over SPY. Looking at the SPY, you will see that we are same story, $689, we're at $682. If we pull back to $674, pullbacks should be bought. I'm dollar cost averaging as we continuously move higher on this. Looking at the SMH, this is beautiful. SMH is semiconductors. This is moving up higher. We are at $672, pulling back to $630. We have NVIDIA earnings, which we're going to start off the Mag 7 with. NVIDIA earnings in 19 days. Looking at them, they made a high of 212 on that news. Everybody is still buying their chips. There is no limit to their CapEx. So here we go. If we get pullbacks, what I really want to look for is, are we going to get a pullback to this level down here at 195? So waiting for this pullback here on NVIDIA. If NVIDIA can get there, that would be beautiful. A 3% pullback. Dips should be bought, especially with earnings right around the corner. Let's see where they're going to go. Looking at Meta stock, this is the stock that interests me the most. As you guys know on my YouTube channel, you can see it on my TikTok bio or just going under my bio on YouTube, that Meta rejected this 795 level. It is making lower highs and is currently trading at $648 per share. Now you say, okay, where do we buy? So right now, I do think Meta in the long term is going to be fine, but it is kind of difficult to draw out where support levels will be besides this obvious level that's really far down, which I don't think we're going to see, is $386 per share on Meta. So what you need to do is, when you're looking at Meta, realistically, 500 would be a nice baseline, but that means something would have to go terribly wrong for it to pull back another 25%. We're going to need another catalyst there. So we're going to put it on our watch list. We're going to set the alerts around $580. If we can get there, we'll start to be interested in. Don't be so eager to buy the big caps once they start finally faltering. I mean, let it bleed. If it's going to bleed, let it bleed more. So it's pulled back 18% from its highs. It's a pretty big pullback. We like that. Yes, this is Meta stock we're reviewing. And I would definitely be cautious with Meta to let it continuously bleed. See if it holds this $650 level. Right now, you have a huge gap that eventually will be filled. I mean, this is a big cap stock. This is your gap, 745 all the way down to 680. This will eventually be filled, but maybe not today or tomorrow or next week. So I think it's always good just to keep an eye on it, set your alerts, and let it bleed for now. If it pulls back further to 600, set your first alert. Take a look. We'll evaluate it when it comes down to that. $100 was the time to buy. That was true. Right now we're at 650 though. We're in reality here. So Google stock is trading at new highs at $291 per share. Pulled back to 281. Google is something I've been calling out on my WHOP and the YouTube channel. If you're a member of the YouTube channel, for $2 or $10 a month, you would have known to bought this at $140, $150 per share. That's where we're holding shares from right now. We're up over 70, 80% on this. I'm not buying any dips on them. I'm just continuing to hold my position on Google because I believe that is the value where it should be at. Amazon stock looks excellent. Had that nice blast up on earnings, 222 up to 250. We've been calling that out on my YouTube TikToks. And you can see here on $244 per share, I would not be surprised if we get pullbacks to $232. You have a gap that needs to be filled from 244 all the way to 231. So that is definitely something that I'll be watching. Definitely be aware of that. So looking at the next stock, Microsoft. Microsoft here is double topping here around this $550 per share. Let me zoom out so you guys can see it. $550 per share. You have 2 points, 2 horns where it has rejected right there. And then also right here as well. So now we need to see on a closer time frame, is it going to hold this $517 level? It pretty much bounced off of that with earnings. It had earnings, and I'll just show you really quick. Let's go on the 1 month. It had this massive move where it went from 512 and then blasted back up. So definitely be aware trading Microsoft earnings that after the earnings play, we did blast up, we're selling off, we're back down to 517. It's kind of a big rejection in my eyes looking at it. So just be aware, if we don't hold this $515 level, you probably will see 500, but in the grand scheme of things, you are trading at the top of the channel, and this is okay. Trading at the top of the channel, just be aware. Big cap companies like this, it's okay if you don't have shares at 517, just wait for pullbacks. Build your cash in the meantime, or just buy the S&P 500 until you're ready to buy an individual stock like this when it pulls back, maybe to 480, maybe to the middle of this channel around 450. That's what I'd be looking for when it comes to that. Netflix is offering a 10-to-1 split. So that means that if the share costs $1,100, it'll be now, $110 or whatever it is. So it'd be almost around $100 to $110 per share. That's going to be happening soon. I'm not sure the exact date though. If anybody knows, please let me know. So Netflix will be doing that. That doesn't increase the share price or anything like that. It's just all it's doing is just diluting it down. So it's not like you're actually making more money. It's still the same exact thing. It's just the ratio for it. So looking at Netflix, basically 1,300 all the way down to 1,100. It is consolidating in this range, but it is at the bottom of this channel at 1,100. It did get a little bit of a bounce, which is nice. From 1,100, you can see it right here, it bounced up. But I'm still going to be cautious watching this. I want to see if we're going to continue pulling back, at least from what I've seen in my experiences. Sometimes when they do these share splits of like 10-to-1 ratios, it usually does drive up the price. I don't know if it's confusing retail or not, or maybe it's just more available for people to buy. So maybe that's what pushes the stock up. But I'm going to be cautious. I'm going to wait. I want to see if we get a major pullback. I'm not interested in owning Netflix at 1,100 because I look at the big picture and this has been nothing but a rocket ship going up. So I got to see pullbacks to 700 for me to even be interested in this. And that would probably be $70 after its ratio cut, because I see a top here at 700, a little bit of support here, and then blasted up, and then 820 was its support. So at Netflix, I'm going to sit on the side. Adobe is a stock I am heavily interested in. I definitely think this has a lot of opportunity, and I just want to be patient and wait and see, are we finally going to get this pullback that we deserve? Are we going to get 327 levels? So my alerts are set at 326. I want to see, are we going to go lower? Looking at this chart, we have known support at $280 per share, and you have it right here as well at $280 per share with nice thin wicks to confirm this, 287 all the way down to 255. That is the range that I am going to be interested in buying some Adobe stock. So I will be continuously watching this as we go. I think Adobe is something that is really underrated. I honestly, 650 down to 340, I understand why people will buy it. But because I trade the market so often, I'm a little bit more of a stickler. I'm not willing to buy at $340 per share. I want to see this pull back just a little further. So just please put it on your radar, at least set your alerts. I think that's something to be watching right there. Qualcomm mentioned that it's going to compete with NVIDIA and AMD with their chips. And that's why you see this long green money candle right here. But I think reality has set in and people realize that Qualcomm is not going to be competing against NVIDIA and AMD. They are way too far behind when you really think about it. AMD, Jensen Huang, and NVIDIA, they are way too ahead. It doesn't mean that the company's not good. I think this is a very valuable company, but let's wait for further pullbacks. Let's see what happens here. Technical perspective here, pullbacks to 174. If you want to day trade that, I can understand that. Also, let's just see if 174 holds. Viewing it on the 1 month, we are consolidating in this range right now, and you just want to be careful. 174 to 190. This is where, if you're going to go long, there is your stop loss below 174. And if you're going to short, I understand 190 range right now. But right now, you are trading in the middle of the channel of 190. So let's let it play out. If you were to go long, this is what your risk-reward ratio looks like right here, with the first box being your entry for your stop loss of 174 and then 180 up to 190. It does have a 1 to 2 R, but you just have to be cautious. You might be able to get this for a better price. I definitely would keep that in mind. BMNR is a stock that I want to go over. This correlates very hugely. Tom Lee is always pumping this stock. BMNR is pumped to 145, and I just want you to think about reality for a second. Let's go on the 1 year chart. Let me just reset this so we can all see it. 1 year ago, not even, this is 6 months ago, actually 4 months ago. It was June 25th. This stock, BMNR, was $2 per share. $2 per share. Went up to 161, and I do think that we are going to see this thing bottom out. I'm waiting for it to go to $40. Once it breaks $40, good luck, BMNR. I think it's going to shoot all the way down to 25. What I'm really looking for this is a short position on this or puts. I want to see this break below $40, retest, then reject. That would be excellent. I would love to see that. I don't think that stock's going to last. We'll see if my prediction is wrong. And whoever's going along on it, hopefully I am incorrect. But I think if crypto pulls back, that is in trouble big time. Tesla stock here, looking at it here, $456 per share. This is a rejection point that needs to be addressed. You see it clearly right here, a Tesla stock. Tesla 470, rejected. And now zooming in on the 3 months so you can see just a little more clarification. It is having to potentially retest this high. And if it can, you know where to go long, boys. You got to get above 470, consolidate, and then push higher. That's what you're looking for. Otherwise, you're looking for the opposite, where it's going to go to 470 and then reject. We need some news on them, but overall looks good. Oracle stock, I was calling this out earlier on my live streams if you follow my channel, that I just didn't believe that Oracle is worth $345 per share when it started blasting up. I mean, you have this huge gap from 243 up to 345, and I was basically saying this gap needs to be filled. And guess what's happening? The gap is filled. So now I'm interested in Oracle stock because we had this massive pullback, and it's not perfect, but I'm wondering if it's going to trade like within this little wedge right here. We're going to see. Is it going to trade like this in this little candle now? And this might give me some opportunities to scalp these guys. Are we going to kind of just do this until we break out? I'm kind of wondering here. We'll see. If it doesn't do that, what I'm looking for is, are we going to break below 260, retest 260, and then go lower? That would be interesting on Oracle stock, ticker symbol ORCL. Definitely interested in that. Apple stock, this is a stock that I do not day trade Apple. I just buy and hold in my retirement accounts. And it has rewarded me generously. I mean, it's at 277. I've been buying the stock anytime that it is near these lows. So there was a time where Apple was at 128, and there's a time Apple was at 170, and there was a time Apple was at 196. And all I did was just buy the bottom of this trend channel, and it has rewarded me. So that is very good. I'm very happy about that. Apple stock, 270. That's pretty much where we're at. Now let's go over some other riskier stocks. Let's look at MU stock. MU stock is currently at the moon at $232 per share. It has been trading within these levels and these zones. So now you have 232 as your top range of this. And I definitely would be aware that MU just needs to break 232. You can start moving higher. Retest at $200 per share is reasonable. And that's where I'd be looking for it right there. UPS is definitely a stock that I think we were calling out a little bit. Didn't buy shares of this. Have a little bit of FOMO. But let's see, can it break above $100 per share? I'm willing to buy even higher if this can prove that it can get above this resistance here around 104. If UPS can prove that it can get above that, I would be interested. I didn't want to just buy the fallen knife, but it looked pretty good from an ROI perspective if you were just buying at $84 and then cutting the loss around like 70. But looking here, it is starting to push up. We'll see, can it reclaim $100 to $105 per share in that zone, and that would be awesome. Intel stock, $40 per share, looking good. Pullbacks 32, I would be interested in. Open stock, OPEN. This is the Open Door Technologies, Inc. They are an interesting company, and I think if you believe in open stock, you need to think about the long-term vision of them and how they're going to transform real estate purchases, basically. And I do like the vision of it. It is interesting. I don't have shares at this time. I am interested if we get further pullbacks. I've been trying to be patient with them because part of my WHOP, we have our community of investors, and they do love open stock, and they're all about it. And if you join the WHOP, they'll tell you all about it. But I currently am just waiting for pullbacks. I want to see if we can get $6 per share. It's a zone I've been waiting for. I choked a little bit. This is where I was supposed to buy. I had my buy alert at $6.10, and we did not get picked up. As you can see at this candle, it went all the way down to $6.23. I kind of forgot about them, left my order in, and was day trading that day and just forgot about them. But overall, open door stock is something that I am interested in, and it's more of a vision play. You know, they still have a lot of work to do, but let's see if they can break above $8 per share and actually hold, because currently they are trading from $7 to $11 range. This is the range that you are trading in when it comes to open door stock. So please just keep that in mind as you are going. I think Open Door offers a lot of potential, but do your own research. They are a newer company. They have to prove themselves, and that's why I would not use a big allocation of my portfolio in them. I want to break down Chipotle stock. I think Chipotle stock is interesting for those of you that are not sure, that have not seen this stock or thought about it. Chipotle stock has sold off big time. Now, Chipotle stock I am interested in. I have a position I just bought yesterday, and I'm looking at them from a year-to-date perspective. This is a company that has very good brand recognition, and yes, they have some downsides right now where they cut their guidance and growth sales, but they're down 54% on the year. Chipotle interests me on this one because when any stock that has risen like this one, I mean, look at this massive, it was following up here. It broke this trend line at $40. Started picking up some shares around this $32 range. We'll see. I could be wrong. So that's why I did this lighter position. But I think $25 is really like your overall support level on these guys. We probably see a bounce, but we'll see. I think you had a nice bear flag set up on this, and then it really did sell off big time. You can see the bear flag right there. So we'll see. Are we going to get a pullback? But I do eventually think that if Chipotle can turn this around, this offers a very good ROI potential. And I do believe that this gap to $39 is eventually going to get filled. So I am just paying attention, waiting for, perfect, there's CMG right there, waiting for this stock to eventually curl around. I'm pretty much banking on the fact that $30 is going to rebound. And if it does rebound, I want to see potential move back up to $38 to $39 per share. They're going to need some news. They're going to need a catalyst. They're going to need shorts to cover. But even back to $35 is a 12% move. Back up to 38 is a 20% move. That's why I'm taking it. So it's you know, that's where I'd like to believe that I have potential here with this stock, but I am not immune to, I'm not, you know, I'm being understanding that this could pull back even further to $25. Let's go over AMD. AMD stock. This is a stock that I believe, if the core guys, NVIDIA, AMD, and Intel, those are kind of like the ones I like long term. I like Oracle as well, but I think Oracle has a lot of debt on its hands after that move. But this is AMD stock. Let me just put the text in so you guys know. There's AMD right here. AMD pulling back 267. It's not really a pullback, but 267 from here, starting to sell off a little bit of profit taking. If you're going to day trade AMD, I'm looking for 240 calls maybe. Looking for that bounce off of this level right here. I like this pullback here to 240 and then pushing back higher. That's something that I'm definitely interested in, and I want to be aware of that as well. So AMD definitely has potential here, but I would just be cautious. We got NVIDIA earnings coming up in 18 days, so just kind of trade it as it goes from there, and then we'll go from there.